I'm covering a link that a customer sent over that they wanted us to comment on. They didn't ask a question, they were just looking for some comments or some thoughts, insights. So I thought I'll play along for this one. Likewise, if there's something you want us to talk about, you can go to our contact page. You can send us an email, use the contact form, or even drop a comment anywhere on our channel here. If you have a career question, we'll try to get it featured. And make sure you get subscribed so you know when we actually post it. Um, this particular one, and bear with me because I'm reading it off of Instagram, so I'm going to bounce around a little bit. It really goes against the grain of what we try to teach and the insights we give when we're coaching our customers. And, even our business customers have us come out and work with their employees to help kind of change their perspective on work to be more successful. I look at my own career where I grew up with nothing, and then I ended up having quite a bit of success starting companies. And, most of the people in my own circle, I look at their behavioral traits, the moves they make, the conversations we have. It's all very similar. And it goes against the grain of what you read on social media, for example. The things that you read on social media typically don't line up with the people that are having a lot of success. So we try to focus on the people that have actually done it. We all have those friends in our ear that have never accomplished anything, but they're trying to tell us how to go accomplish it. It's one of those things where you have to step back and say, would I switch places with this person in life? And if the answer is no, you might not want to listen to them. I always use the reference of growing up back home. You start to have a little bit of success, and you got that family member that's got no money. They're terrible with everything in life, and they're trying to tell you how to get rich and what you need to do with your money. It's like, no, I'm going to go listen to people that have actually had success and know how to manage money. I'm not going to listen to you. Kind of the same way when it comes to careers. So I'm reading a Instagram post here, and I'm just going to read part of it where it says, raise your standards, show up 20 minutes early to work. And that is kind of where the comments went south. And I can see why they sent me this post. It just goes against the insights we typically give. The first one that goes, how is showing up 20 minutes early for work raising your standards? Well, that's self-explanatory. 20 minutes earlier, who's paying for that? Well, I look, much of my work ethic came from my father. He had an 8th grade education. He worked in a steel factory most of his life. He usually got to work about half an hour early. It's where I learned to build professionalism. Now, keep in mind, he wasn't working that 30 minutes. He made sure he was on time. He went and got his coffee, might have had a snack, BS with the guys about football and all that fun stuff, and then he kind of got mentally prepared to go work. And it's just one of those things that, even my father in a steel factory had that mentality, and he was a very dependable, reliable person that the company knew that they could count on. That goes like that all the way back, to when I was a teenager, maybe even before that. That is something I learned from my father. I always showed up early, and I never once thought that the company was getting free labor from me, or they should be paying me for this. And this is where I think if you want to have success, you have to change the way you think about things. It is so easy to get in this programmed mentality that you get taught in school and even from some of your parents that every company sucks, every manager sucks, all work is bad. Find me somebody who thinks that way, that has really had any kind of success in life, and I'm listening. You don't run into many. But looking at some more of the comments here, give my job 20 minutes of my life for free. This page is toxic. Let's see. Donating 20 minutes of your life for free when I'm like the same thing over and over and over again. It's, why would I ever give a company 20 minutes of my life? I'm not getting paid for those 20 minutes. I'm going to be at Starbucks. Are you going to pay me for showing up 20 minutes early? Imagine going to work 20 minutes early. What the F? It's like over and over and over again. It's the same. Like, now, I completely disagree with all this stuff. I'm someone that always got to work early. Over and over and over, and like just questioning the 20 minutes, who pays for the 20 minutes. This isn't about getting paid for the 20 minutes. It's one of those things that, like, it's hard to explain. But I always say if you flip it around, and all right, so when I was consulting, that's a good example. When I was consulting, I got paid by the hour essentially in the tech industry. So if I showed up at 9 o'clock and I wasn't like ready for work, and I got coffee and went to the bathroom and BS with some people, and it's not that you're not allowed to do these things. I'm just saying a half an hour goes by really fast. All these things you do in the morning, your little morning routine. And then I didn't really get moving until 9:40. Would that company have been happy with that, paying my consulting fee? Hell no, they wouldn't have. And likewise, if you were paying somebody by the hour to come to your home to do something or do anything for you, how would you feel about that? And it's one of those things like, if your shift starts at 9, are you ready to hit the ground running at 9 o'clock? And for many people, especially in the large corporate companies, no, that's not true. They almost waste the first hour of every day. And which is fine. If you don't have crazy high career plans and you just want a job, if your job starts at 9 and you want to walk in at 8:59, then do it. It's one of those things that you're right, you're not getting paid more. Go do your job, do it well, and go home. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, if you're trying to climb the ladder, you're trying to get somewhere, you're trying to send a message to your boss and the company, you're trying to send a message to the coworkers that you're competing with for other jobs and promotions, does it kill you to get in 15 minutes early? When I was 15 minutes early or more, then I didn't have to worry about a traffic jam or weather. I knew that even if I left 15, 20 minutes early, my chances of being late to work or late to a customer site was pretty small. So I was almost never, ever late. My first big job in the tech world when I was a teenager, that first day I was in the parking lot an hour early. And that's extreme, but that's how much it meant to me. It was life-changing to go from broke and nothing and going nowhere to have this job meant so much. I was always early. And I never wanted to risk being late or send the wrong message because I wanted to succeed. So if you get there if you leave 15 minutes early, you don't worry about traffic jams as much, you don't worry about the weather. You get there, you get time to get set up, you get mentally ready. You do the mundane stuff. Maybe you clean out your inbox or shoot some text messages to people, and it's not about not getting paid for the time. It's one thing if you get to your Starbucks job 15 minutes early and they want you to start busting out lattes. This is a completely different story. If you're out there doing output like that, then yeah, you probably just start your shift when it should. I'm talking about, do you walk in every morning with the mindset of, I want to get ready to hit the ground running? Do you walk in with a plan in the morning, or do you sit down at your desk and you then figure out what you need to do for the day? Most of the successful people I know, for example, they use Sunday night as a time to prepare, so they can go in Monday and already have a plan. You know how many people walk in Monday, if their job starts at 9 o'clock, they walk in at 9 o'clock, they got no plan, no idea, not even for the day, for the week. They're not very productive. They're very inefficient. And I've seen this over and over and over again when I was consulting in the tech world, because I'm at all these big companies. And I'm like, how do you do this every day? But then you see who climbs to the top and then who doesn't. But again, it's okay. Maybe you don't want to climb. Maybe you just want a job. You want to clock your 40 and go home. Nothing wrong with that. I'm talking about the people that are trying to climb. And it's two different mindsets, because I think there's nothing wrong with just working. Not everyone has to be trying to get to the top. I fully understand that. You live your life however you want. These insights are for the people that are trying to get somewhere. But again, if you look at how we view work right now, I often ask people when they're coming out of college, they're talking bad about a company and a boss that they've never even worked for yet. And I'm like, well, how do you know your boss is going to be bad? How do you know the company is going to be bad? Like you haven't even worked there yet, and you realize somewhere between K through 12 and college and your parents, you get programmed with this stuff. You watch TV. Have you ever seen a movie that shows a company or a boss in a good light? Every boss is terrible. Every boss is a micromanager. Every corporation is a greedy, piece of crap. And then you wonder why you walk into that first job out of college with this negative opinion of everything. You've been set up to fail mentally a decade before you ever arrived. And it's like I look at the people that are very successful that are in my circle. They don't think that way. Not one of them would ever complain about showing up to work 15 minutes early. They get it and they've done it. It's just, again, are we paying attention to the people that are successful, or do we want to keep listening to the people who maybe aren't that successful? You can't keep listening to the people that aren't that successful and then say, well, why am I not successful? You are the content you consume at the end of the day. If you watch, movies and TV shows that talk about how much it sucks to work and how all bosses suck and all companies suck and they're all greedy, and, your parents say that because maybe their jobs didn't work out that good and all your friends are saying it and your college professor's saying it, do you think that doesn't have a toll on your own behavioral traits and personality? You walk into a company with this attitude to fail. And look around. The thing is, and then we'll say the people that succeed, they're a bunch of butt-kissing brown-nosers. It's like maybe they're just professionals. They just carry themselves a certain way. I've dealt with this while I was consulting in the tech world. I've seen this in a music studio with some of the people I've worked with. The way you look at someone that is a multi-millionaire, they got platinum records on the wall, Grammy noms, and the whole nine. You see how they carry themselves, and you're like, I get it. I just get it. Not only are they amazing from a talent perspective, but their level of professionalism is why they just crush it in this industry. And you see that over and over and over again. But we don't want to pay attention to it. It's we go out to brunch with our friends on the weekend, and we just talk all this negative stuff. And then if you're in this negative mindset, and then we're trying to figure out why we fail. So, yeah, there's bad bosses, there's bad companies, there's always going to be bad actors out there. But if you're walking into a scenario already thinking, why would I ever show up to work 15 minutes early? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And I started thinking, no, that's not the dumbest thing you ever heard. It's like, why not get there and get ready to go and get a plan together? It's, I don't know. These are the things that, we focus on when we coach. This is the way that I've lived my own life. And now I kind of dug myself out of the gutter from where I grew up and went on to build, I would say quite a decent career in the business world anyways. But that's all I got for this one. For the person that sent that link in, I hope I gave you enough insights. I have a feeling you already knew the answer. But for anyone else listening, make sure you hit subscribe if you want. Drop us a question, and we'll try to get you featured on the show. But until then, we're going to catch you on the next one.